So the show's going to go a little bit different today, a little bit of free form. We got some topics to talk about, obviously. We got some Lions stuff, a particular player that Anson and I are very, very both in love with.
Yes, sir.
And the position that they have him listed as on the Lions roster, I think, surprised some of us.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about that guy coming up. We're going to talk about some other Lions signings. They got a kicker.
Yes,
the Lions have a kicker, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
That means 1/3 of the team is almost complete. We special teams. We got special teams.
We did it, man. We was champion in the. We were rooting for this move, and it finally got done, man. Shout out to Jake Bates. 2-year deal. So that means they like what they saw, man.
That's right.
Get ready for some Jake Bates this year.
That's right.
Oh, man. And you know what? Honestly, this is just another evolution of what Brad Holmes has done this offseason. He just slowly and methodically put together improvements at every position. I saw a graphic that was thrown up about just comparing where we were to where we are. Defensive line, Ritter's an upgrade. Reader's an upgrade. Yep. You're talking about defensive back. You drafted upgrades. You bring in Davis. You bring in
Amik Robinson.
Right.
Yep.
Just every position that needed to be upgraded has been upgraded. And now, to me, the final piece of the puzzle with the kicker, because I swear to God, Anson, you know I'm a Dan Campbell guy, right? You know I am all in Dan Campbell. He is Jesus in my eyes, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how many more of those fourth downs you can handle, bro.
What is my only complaint about Dan Campbell?
Yeah.
My only complaint. And you know what? I take the bad with the good because, listen, him going for it on fourth down has resulted in where the Lions got to last year. So I'm smart enough of a fan to understand, okay, it's working, so I'm just going to shut up. But I really don't enjoy that. And now I think you're actually giving this guy an opportunity to make the correct football call. Because when you don't have a kicker that can consistently kick a 40 to 45-yard field goal, that means you're hamstringing your entire offense. You got to get within the 25-yard line to feel comfortable kicking a field goal. And at that point, why not? We're almost there. Let's go for the TD. Mm-hmm. So them with this signing really just elevates the team beyond what any other signing could have done because they were operating as 66% of a football team last year.
Yes, sir.
You need that third element of the special teams.
Yeah. I was up here with Ryan Ermanni, and he asked us all. He went through each position group. Did we improve? And every single position group, we have improved. Maybe quarterback, you could argue, but we have a healthy, full offseason program, Hendon Hooker. And you go down the line, we've improved at every single room. When you come to the kicker, you hit the nail on the head. This is not only an issue of average, but it's an issue of below average to the point where you're scheming, you're play calling. The options that you have on a third down at the 40-yard line, they're completely changed.
Right.
So now you go to a guy whose nickname is Big Leg Bates. Woo! You've seen his track record of this offseason in the USFL and what the guy can do. And signing him to a 2-year deal just says, hey, we know that he's better than Turner. We know that he's better than Badgie or anybody else that we could have brought in.
And we got to see it already in game action.
That's
I mean,
right.
There are some comments right now like, hey, listen, the dude is, however, he's here and he hasn't kicked an extra point, so it's going to be a concern. That's what Anakin's saying.
Wow.
And it is a concern, right? The guy doesn't have real NFL game experience, but that is the one position that I don't think it matters, right? You can either kick a football or you can't kick a football.
And if he can make 64, you would assume he can make 25 consistently.
Right, so. And it's not like, if you're the first time playing offensive guard in the NFL, you got to go up against a defensive tackle that's NFL ready.
Right.
Who's he going up against?
Nobody.
A football that he's just got to kick right down the middle. Yeah. So, to me, the kicker really doesn't need that as long as he's been in pressure situations before.
Which he has.
It's all the same, kicking the football through the uprights, right?
Yeah, and he's kicking in the same stadium he's been kicking in. He has familiarity there with being in Ford Field. A lot of our games are going to be indoors this year, so definitely looking forward to it, especially with the new kickoff rules. Essentially, if we get past midfield, we're in field goal range.
That's right.
You're damn near guaranteed the ball at least the 35 with these new kickoff rules. So that alone is an asset to the offense. You get a couple first downs, we got guaranteed points.
Well, and what you've done is you've just given Ben Johnson a shorter field.
Absolutely.
Listen, you no longer have to go 80 yards. We just need you to go About 65 now, right? When you get the ball at the so it totally changes how Ben Johnson's going to approach the game. It totally changes how Dan Campbell's going to approach the game. And it's crazy that we're this pumped for a USFL kicker, but it was such a big gap in what they had last year that this kicker could be our Justin Tucker.
He could.
It wasn't just a deficiency. It was literally something that hamstrung this team every single weekend. Every single weekend. When you're up, it's not a big deal, but we obviously saw in the NFC Championship as well as many other important games how hamstrung this team was in that area of limbo. If they're between the 30 and 40 or past, you already know they're not kicking it. You already know that we are going to push a fourth down play, even if it's 3rd and 10 or 4th and 10. So being able to have this kind of safety blanket, I mean, I'm looking here. He's a college soccer player, never kicked, coming out, graduated last year, 24-year-old guy, and he went and he lit the UFL on fire. So has the record, longest of all time, and he's a 77% guy. This just has to breathe a huge sigh of relief to Lions fans that it's not something that we're wondering about going into training camp. I think that this deal is done. This guy is our guy.
Well, now he's just got to prove it on the field, right? Because if he comes out the first couple of games and botches a few, then here we go. Here we go again. Now we're back in the hunt. You know, what was that, the year after Hansen left? Didn't we go through like 3 or 4 kickers within like 8 weeks trying to find somebody?
Until we got Matt Prater,
Yeah. You never know how blessed you are until you have the same kicker for 2 decades.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that was the problem with the Lions back then, that Jason Hansen was your best player forever. I mean, Barry was on
Led
that
the
team
in points.
So scoring. Jason Hansen is your all-time Lions leader in scoring. That's not a good look.
Eddie Murray was here for a while, too.
I like that last name on him, though.
Hansen?
Hansen.
This is like Anson?
It's pretty close.